How to get rid of these super annoying, disgusting, ugly stickers from your beautiful Habanos boxes. A little bit more on news on upcoming events, a little bit of rant on my part on a few subjects, and of course, something we're going to review together. The H.Upmann Magnum Finite Limitada 2025. This is a cigar that I've been postponing to review for quite a while now. I've had them in my possession for a long while, but I've never found the right time to review one. And I've not done a video for a while, so please excuse me for the absence. I'm back. I'm KD. These are my Leaf Diaries, ladies and gents. Welcome to another video. Let's get straight to cutting, lighting, and enjoying this beautiful limited edition Habanos, and we can continue with our conversation. Now that we have this beautiful cigar lit, let's put a pairing on, because cigar without a pairing is a little bit not good, at least for me. Of course, we're going to pair it with something special because we're smoking a Limitada, ladies and gents. So it's going to be the Bunnahabhain 12, one of my favorite Scottish distilleries. I can't tell you how good they are. An amazing Scottish distillery. Now, this is not for the faint of heart. This is a 46.3%. So, yeah, you have to put your big boy pants on. Okay, wow. Here's a healthy serving. Let's see how that pairs now. Cheers, everyone. Wow. There's something about these Diarmas glasses, ladies and gents. I mean, this is quite a strong Scotch, very pungy, but it mellows it out somehow. There's something in the design of these glasses. I can't put my finger on it, but they're quite special. Definitely would recommend them. Now, the cigar. This is the second cigar I'm having of these. What can I tell you? Amazing. So this is Vitola de Galera Singulares, factory or a commercial name Magnum Finite. This is a 130 milliliters by 53 ring gauge. Double fermented as any other Limitada. Sorry, it's 2024. I was saying it's 2025. Yeah, I'm rushing. This is 2024. Quite aromatic from the get-go. Quite nice. The first one I had at the Plovdiv event, which I didn't shoot content from. For a myriad of reasons. I will be shooting more content on future events, but I'll come back to that in a minute. This cigar was launched on the 30th of June last year, in 2024, by Tabacalera in Spain. Very secretively, because by the time I found out there is a launch event, it already sold out. Similarly to another one that's happening on the 6th of December, which again I'm going to come back to, but give me 2 seconds. The cigar from the get-go was quite intriguing for me, because I love the Magnum 56 from 2015, one of my favorite limited edition cigars, and I have just a few left. And I'm going to be crying after I finish all of them, because it's such an amazing cigar. But I don't know why. I didn't give it too much attention. I prioritized Ramon a Leones Absolutos, and I'm sorry, but for those of you that know me, Ramon a Leones is the king of kings. And having a Limitada from Ramon a Leones is just something that needs to happen. That's why I bought 6 boxes as soon as the boxes came to Switzerland. Earlier this year, I went to Basel for the launch event as well. I was gutted I couldn't buy boxes at the actual launch event. I had to wait like 2 or 3 months to be able to get some. Huge thank you to Yannick and Intertabac AG for all of the help and support and allowing me the opportunity to be able to buy boxes of that Limitada, because that was an amazing Limitada. And this is probably the main reason why I kind of neglected the Magnum Finite. On the grand scheme of things, H.Upmann compared to the La Gloria Cubana, to Bolivar, to Partagas, to Ramon Leones doesn't compare quite nicely, at least in my personal opinion, in my scale of what I like and what I don't like that much. But from a limited edition perspective, it's always an absolute banger. Now, like I said, the first cigar I had was at the Plov de Filipopolis event, which was an amazing event, about 170 people, sold out completely. Take Me to the Moon, Frank Sinatra was the theme. I received an award from Filipopolis. I'm waiting for them to share some more pictures, and I'll try and assemble a little video with a voiceover probably from a few kind of shots I've got to explain a little bit more about the actual event. I was on stage, I delivered a very short speech to say thank you to the organizers and to basically explain who I am and what I do, explain what my club is about and what my future aspirations for the club are to be, because I've got a lot of surprises in store for next year. I'm planning to some big things, but I'm going to talk about these in future because I'm kind of deviating from the cigar at hand. 25 Cigars presentation box, which you'll see in the close-ups. Amazing, luxurious box, or you can see it here behind me. Probably not my favorite format, too short for my liking, but there is something about this cigar. It's quite aromatic, it's quite pungy, quite interesting. Some toasted cedar, some woodiness, quite nutty, a little bit of black pepper, but not spicy. It's interesting. It's hinting of pepper, but it's not spicy, which is exactly what I love to have. That spiciness sometimes at the back of your throat, especially with New World cigars, is sometimes ruining it for me, but this is quite nice. In the beginning, it's also very, very floral. Very nutty, very floral, very woody is how I would characterize this cigar and its flavors. The band is quite interesting, quite wide, very chocolatey as well. Amazing. Harsh on the retrohale. I think this is going to need some time to calm down. And I know you know what I say about people that say it needs a few years. Although it's a Limitada and it comes with a minimum of 2 years. This particular box is from May 25. It will need a few more years, I think. But it does deliver, ladies and gents, even as a fresh quote-unquote Limitada, as a fresher Limitada can be. Again, it's double fermented, it's a minimum of 2 year aged. It should be good to go. I will be leaving these to rest for another 2-3 years at least. Unlike the Ramon Leones Absolutos, which I've already, I think I'm on box 3 or 4. Completely different conversation. Unlike Ramon Leones, this will probably need a little bit more of a nap in the humidor. But I'll come back to that in a minute. Talking about events, as I mentioned, I attended the annual gala event for Filipopolis Cigar Club. I wasn't planning on going, and I was actually thinking of not going to the next Caliman Caribe event. Caliman Caribe are launching the Diplomático Cancilleres, which is only the second standard production, Diplomáticos Vitola in existence. It will have a global launch in Sofia, Bulgaria on the 27th of November. As I was thinking of not going, I actually assembled a group of 7-10 people roughly to go with me. This is going to be the first global Habanos launch event for my significant other. So I'll be sharing that moment with her, which I'm quite excited about. A few other friends are bringing their significant others as well. So I think it's going to be an amazing event to enjoy on the 27th of November. I will be taking you with me. I will be shooting a travel vlog, so stay tuned for that. The other news is, as I hinted in the beginning, there was an event similarly sold out to the Magnum Finite, the way Tabacalera sold out Magnum Finite launch event without announcing it. Phoenicia sold out their event on the 6th of December, a royal reveal in the City of Dreams, Limassol, for the 2025 Punch Princesas Limitada. Now, me being me, as stubborn as I am, I decided that I'm going to reach out to Phoenicia and try and ask for an invite. I had zero expectations. I thought it's never going to happen. I'm over the moon. I paid the invite yesterday. I've secured it. I'm just waiting for them to confirm where exactly in Limassol the venue is, what's the dress code, so I can organize. Because for those of you that have been to Cyprus and had to go to Limassol, you either land up in Paphos or the other airport, I can't remember, and then there is an hour drive or bus or something along those lines to Limassol, and then I'll try and get a hotel closer to the venue. But I'll be taking you with me again. This, however, is going to be a grandioso event. I think it's going to be a very, very out of this world evening, because Phoenicia are quite known to make one of the best Habanos events out there. Very easy to deal with. Phoenicia, same as Intertabac AG. I know that you've heard me talking about different distributors and how it's very difficult to talk to some distributors, how it's very difficult to get invites to ask for specific cigars, if you can get access to them, etc. It's just becoming an absolute nightmare. I'm not going to delve into too much details, but there are still very good Habanos distributors out there. Like I mentioned, Intertabac AG and Phoenicia, one of these distributors who are very easygoing, looking after aficionados and collectors like me, and I'm eternally grateful. Eternally grateful. It's great to have that sort of relationship with people from those distributors and to feel welcomed all the time. So thank you again to the entire team at Intertabac and Phoenicia. Now, without delving into too much detail, I'll also mention that I'm planning to formalize a European club, cigar club. I have an idea, and I'll see how that goes, because I have a lot of ideas, but not all of them go my way. I did mention about revealing me going to a big event, and I was planning to go to the Habanos Festival next year. Unfortunately, due to personal circumstances, I won't be able to attend, so hence why I don't like to really speak about things before I conclude those things and have everything ready. Like I just mentioned for the Habanos Festival, I didn't want to say, and I'm announcing the Phoenicia event, although it was sold out for so many weeks, because I managed to finalize everything and get myself ready for it. But I want to start a new club which will basically mix cigars and business. We'll have an annual calendar of European cigar events. Those will be a mixture of Habanos events, Habanos global distributor events, and KD Leaf Diaries events in various places across Europe, where I'm gonna create a membership fee in different tiers, and you can join depending on the tier that you're interested in. I will be organizing different weekend retreats for business-minded people, and they'll be revolving around the cigar smoking culture as well as business. In other words, people will have a platform to come and sell their business to other attendees and members, as well as people from the country that we're attending, which I'll be organizing audiences and so on and so forth. So if that's something of interest, do reach out and let me know. My KD Leaf Diaries Telegram group is also going strong, 28 countries and counting. I call it the United Nations of KD. The group is made for active aficionados, people that enjoy cigars as a lifestyle, not as a hobby, and are committed to the other members of that group. The community is super vibrant. and it's welcoming. I welcome anyone that wants to join. All of my groups, the KD Leaf Diaries Telegram group and my private UK cigar club, the Leaf Vault, are automated. So if you're inactive, there's bots that will basically remove you from the group. A lot of people getting upset with me for being removed from the group. Apologies in advance, but I do warn everyone as soon as they join. There's a bunch of rules that pop up and warn people to say this is an active community. If you're planning to just sit and consume content, you'll be removed. We need everyone to chip in and contribute to the group, because everyone else is, and they're investing their time, and it's really unfair to them. Another thing I want to mention is the KD Leaf Diaries monthly herfs that are happening every second Friday of the month. Do tune in. It's completely free. Over to Microsoft Teams, head over to kdld.co.uk, click on the invite on the RSVP button, and just join us. If you want to smoke, you can smoke. If you want to drink, you can drink. If you don't want to do either, don't do either. Join us for the conversation. It's quite entertaining, I'll say. So yeah, this is what's going on roughly from a news perspective, things that are happening around me and with me personally as well. Do let me know what you want to see in terms of different types of content, things that you might be interested. I'm more than happy to create different types of content. Going back to the cigar, because we're now entering the second third, very much sweet, a little bit of dark honey coming out, a little bit of caramel, a lot of toasted nuts, quite coffee, creamy. It's actually developing quite nice, a bit leathery. The retrohale is still harsh, still very harsh. Medium to full body cigar, going into full slowly. Quite nice. I am actually enjoying this cigar, although I don't know why I was predisposed for it to be a meh, not that special of a cigar, but I'm very much enjoying it. The complexity of flavors and aromas is very impressive, very impressive. I'm very impressed. Very, very complex blend. This in 5 years' time will be unmatched, I think. Very leathery, very nice, very, very nice. Exactly what I would like from a Cuban Limitada. If the retrohale was a bit smoother, that would have been a killer. I did mention that I will show you how to remove these annoying health warning stickers that everyone hates. No one wants to remove because they leave residue and they ruin the box. Now I'll show you a few boxes, one of which will be the outside cardboard one, a semi-boite naturel or dress box, and a pure cedar box. It's very, very simple, and it involves a gun. This is how you crack a nut with a sledgehammer, but it works. And the final result is an absolutely clean box. I can show you this here as well. By the way, this is an empty box, and I wouldn't recommend you doing anything with heat on your boxes if there are cigars inside. These are empty boxes. So I'll show you here again. Clean as a baby's bottom. Now, obviously, before you do anything like that, you need to remove all of your cigars. Now, if they're in a cardboard box, just remove the wooden box, keep the cigars away from the hot box. It will cool down in like 30 seconds, and then you can put your cigars back. But the net result of this exercise is you now have an original Habanos box as it was intended to go out of the factory. I'll show you on a semi-boité naturel or dress box. By the way, I know it looks like a lot, and I know that 90% of you think that I'm a lunatic for doing this. This is a bit too much, right? It is a bit too much, but I already had this and I thought I'll give it a try. My son bought it. My son does, he's in the Royal Air Force. He does cadets for the Royal Air Force, and he used this to shine shoes. Stop. Don't ask me. It is what it is. I have one. I tried it. It works. It's 20 quid on Amazon. Again, here it is. No residue. Doesn't damage the box. Remember, always take your cigars out, especially for these sorts of boxes. They have to be empty, no cigars inside, because you're otherwise risking of damaging the cigars. Here's a pure cedar box, and you can also see how quickly it happens. That's all she wrote. Look, absolutely zero residue. I'll open, there's one more inside. No residue. What can I say, ladies and gents? Yesterday when I tried it for the first time, because my son was like, I don't need this heat gun anymore, Dad. I'll put it in the bin or I'll gift it to someone. I was like, let me give it a go. I might need it. And just like that, 3 boxes, as Habanos intended them to have, intended them to be sold to their customers without the silly government stickers. Absolutely amazing. Guess what I'm going to be doing next? I'm going to be doing all of that. I'm going to be doing that to all of my boxes in my collection, because I hate these stickers. Of course, if you shop or live in Andorra, you wouldn't care. Or if you live in another duty-free zone, you wouldn't care because you wouldn't get those stickers. Actually, I'm not sure if it's because it's duty-free or because the law states that they don't need to have them. Boxes from Andorra have 0 stickers. Boxes from France, from Poland, I can't tell you, the entire box is covered in disgusting images. It's just horrible. So something that costs like 20 quid on Amazon or from wherever you can find it, a box standard heat gun, I'm buying one all day long. And it doesn't matter where you buy it, by the way. I'm sure most of you didn't expect this sort of tutorial this evening, but here we go. Going back to this beautiful cigar, we're still in the second third, and the flavors and the aromas are just intensifying exponentially. I didn't believe I'm gonna say this, but this is a very tasty cigar. I definitely recommend it. Is it better than Absolutos? No. Is it an amazing Limitada? Absolutely yes. These 2 Limitadas recently launched in the UK, finally. And they were launched in Bulgaria a few weeks ago and the rest of Europe as well, because this is what usually happens. Habanos awards one of the distributors with the ability to launch a limited edition cigar, and they become the sole distributor allowed to sell that cigar for about 6 months exclusively. Now, in the event of the Finite, this was Tabacalera Spain. In the event of the Absolutos, this was Intertabac AG in Switzerland. In the event of, for example, Bolivar Regentes, this was Hunters and Francal last year in February. But they recently were launched in the UK, and I was actually quite pleasantly surprised because the box of Absolutos was, I haven't checked the Finite, but the box of Absolutos, and apologies because this is a Finite review and I keep talking about the Absolutos, so please accept my apologies. It's just a favorite cigar of mine. A box of Absolutos is surprisingly cheap for the UK. In effect, it's almost the same price as in Bulgaria. Very similar to the price that was in Switzerland. So for those of you that, and I can't guarantee that this is going to happen every year with every single Limitada, but if I knew that Hunters and Francao are gonna release the infamous EMS boxes that everyone, you know, raves about, which are nothing but a box of Habanos that everyone else gets with an EMS sticker. If I knew that Hunters and Francao are gonna release that box with 100 quid more or 150 pounds more, I wouldn't have traveled several times to. No, I would have still traveled several times to Switzerland and enjoyed that cigar almost a full year in advance. What I was trying to say is, if you're that patient person that don't really care about trying the cigar early, if you don't mind waiting, I don't know how much it's worth, you know, jumping on the hype train, going to Switzerland a few times to get a few boxes and spending, you know, 600, 700, 800 pounds per trip. Instead, wait for 6, 7, 8 months and, you know, buy it locally. But yeah, I would have still gone and traveled, especially for the Absolutos. I didn't go for the Finite, mind you. Actually, I wasn't even gonna buy a box, but then a friend of mine from my WhatsApp club, Vitali, thank you very, very much for this opportunity, my friend, called me when I was in Berlin on holiday and said, hey, I'm in Spain, I can get you a box. And I wasn't gonna say no. It was a massive gesture on his part, and I'm very, very grateful for this. And by the way, this is thanks to Vitali that I'm able to review this cigar tonight. Again, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. It had to be said. I completely forgot to mention it earlier, so apologies. Thank you, Vitali. This is an amazing opportunity, my friend, and a great gesture. If it wasn't for Vitali, I wouldn't have bothered. I have to be honest, I wouldn't have bothered. But if I knew how good it was, I would probably have bothered and traveled and made the effort to buy it a lot earlier than I did. What a sensational Limitada. You see, it's not a Bolivar Regentes. It's not a Ramon Leones Absolutos. It's not many other limited edition cigars, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be, because it's not. It's H.Upmann Magnum Finite. It's its own thing. It's an amazing Limitada. I think it's also very reasonably priced, provided that you get, you know, a limited edition, as Habanos have intended lately to create all limited edition boxes in these luxurious, very collectible, in my humble opinion, boxes. They come in this velvet cover, just sensational. If you're collecting Habanos, it's definitely worth having at least one box in your collection. Now we're going into the last and final third. I'm struggling to keep the bands on. I keep sliding them upwards. I've explained in quite a few videos why I do that, and the reason why I do this is because of attempting to protect the cigar in case there is an issue with the construction. I keep the bands on. If it starts splitting, I can roll out the band close to the burn site, to the burn line, sorry, and contain that split. Although with Limitadas it very rarely happens, it does happen. I had quite a few Bolivar Regentes that, you know, had construction issues, and I had to keep the band just to keep them intact, which is not a good thing to say about a cigar that I just said it's better than this one. But hey ho, I don't judge cigars on construction, ladies and gents. I judge cigars on taste, aromas, and actual overall experience. I can't say anything negative about this cigar. It is sensational. A lot of dark chocolate is coming right now. A lot of very strong espresso, like coffee beans, very, very in-your-face coffee tastes. Very woody, very spicy, but not hot spice, like cinnamon, that sort of spice, like cloves, cinnamon. Very complex blend. Leathery, earthy and very fruity, by the way, and in combination with this, I think this cigar is just over the edge of this 46.3% drum. It has enough minerals to not be overpowered, if that makes sense. This is going to be it for tonight. It's quite a long video again, so apologies for the blabbery. Don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe for all your cigar content. More than happy to oblige and create different types of content. Just let me know in the comments below. Stay tuned for the upcoming events of the global Habanos launch for Diplomáticos Conciliares under the flagship of Calimán Caribe in Sofia on the 27th of November, and also for the Punch Princesas global launch at the City of Dreams, a royal reveal under the flagship of Phoenicia in Cyprus, Limassol. I'll be taking you to both of these, and I'm going to be more than happy to share my experience. And as always, I'm KD. These were my Leaf Diaries. Have a good evening, ladies and gents, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching.